We're back here for Game 2 at Harlan Rogers. Tritons took Game 1 today. Madison McCollum up bat for the Northeast Community College Hawks first, as we have Alex Boyce on the mound for the Tritons. Fires in a second strike to make the count 0-2. Sun coming out a little bit, hopefully a little bit warmer for the players. First game was pretty chilly. I'm joined here for Game 2 with Michael Coates, same as first game. How are you doing, Mike?
I'm doing pretty good, Dan. How are you?
I'm hanging in there. Alex Boyce able to get that strike out there.
Changing up the speeds just like they did in the first game. I think that's a staple for Iowa Central. They want to make sure they're keeping their batters, the opponents off balance and not knowing what's coming next.
Rosario Garcia coming up to the plate for the Hawks.
Stoppage in the game as there was a gate open here on the Iowa Central fence. Got to make sure everyone's safe.
Boyce able to get Garcia from the Hawks to swing.
It was a nice, very fast, low pitch. Even if she was going to make contact with it, it was going to go straight into the ground and be a play the infield could make. Followed up that low, really fast pitch on the first pitch. Followed it up with a changeup outside, trying to get her ahead, and ends up watching it for strike 2.
Boyce firing in the pitch. Higher one. Has pitches to play with. 1-2 count.
Don't give him anything too juicy in the middle of the strike zone. Very similar tone to last game getting started. The pitching of Iowa Central really outclassing the batting of Northeast. But as it showed in the second game, they got some momentum going and things changed up really quick. Looks like a swing
Boyce
for strike 3.
Caught her on a little bit of a swing there. Jacqueline Denning out to catch this next.
Oh, yeah. Take that back. Ball 1. Looked a little low and outside.
Boyce fires in. Second pitch looked a little outside as well.
Keeping it in that same position, not trying to give her anything that she can get some power into. As Denning, definitely their strongest hitter.
Fired out to the left side.
Hard hit. Third baseman for Iowa Central lays out, gets it stopped, keeps it in the infield. Doesn't allow her to get 2 bases out of it, but does end up getting a single. It's going to be person on first, 2 outs.
Behrman up at the plate. Hawks definitely don't want the game to end the same way it did the first game. Form stoppage in play after 5 innings as Iowa Central had hit 20 runs.
No, Behrman at the plate. She's catching. She caught last game as well. She has the most power on the team. 7 home runs, 34 RBIs. Equal split on her walks and her strikeouts, 20 and 22, respectively. Good decision on the throw down there. Caught the runner off guard, unable to get the tag in. She'll be safe at first, but something to keep in mind for the base runners for the rest of the game is she's not afraid to wing it down there, keeping them close to the bags.
Northeast still looking for that first away win, 0-19, as we get the next pitch from Boyce.
Man, that's such a change. The speed between her 2 pitches,
right.
That changeup is just so hard to notice. It's that much slower. You're already starting your swing, as you saw there. She was halfway into her swing, and she's like, this ball isn't here yet. Then comes back with just 2 times the velocity of the fastball.
As we were talking about, Northeast 0-19 away, 3-38 record now. They can still do damage even if you've got a bit of a lower record.
Absolutely.
Boyce ends that inning there.
3 Ks in that inning. 1 single, hard hit at third base that made a decent play. Some momentum for both teams to go into the next inning.
Cheyenne Anderson, number 8, Parker Matthews, number 23, Bree Jevin, number 16, Sophia Cave, number 24, Peyton Anderson, number 19, Gavin Bingham, number 9, Jenna Peschel, number 51, Alexis Morrison, number 3, Peyton Adwell, and number 21, Alexis Boyce.
We talked about how Northeast doesn't want the same ending, but on the flip side, Iowa Central probably wanted to close it out early as they had the 10-run lead in the second inning.
They had a very sizable lead in the start of last game. Just errors mixed with the conditions of today, mixed with maybe some overlooking. You see a team coming into your home field that hasn't won an away game yet, is 3-37 overall, now 3-38. You kind of look past them a little bit.
Right.
Maybe in sophomore day, you're thinking more sentimental, thinking, wow, maybe I need to enjoy this game a little bit more, and maybe you're just thrown off on focus just a little bit.
Yeah.
Enough of those things combined, then a team like Northeast can upset a team like Iowa Central.
Talked a little bit about confidence, not cockiness. You got to come in and be confident in yourself, but not just thinking you're going to be handed the win, because that's when you get lazy, that's when mistakes happen, and that's when they can give Iowa Central a little bit of a run for their money.
If you add in enough of those together, any team can get beat.
Right. Even if you've got a lower record, as we kind of started talking about earlier, you can still take someone out of their postseason. You can
ruin their seed, make them go up against a much tougher opponent, or maybe just opponent they aren't matched up well with. So you want to be as high a seed as possible going into the end of the year to get teams that you can beat.
Looks like we've got McCohen back out on the mound for the Hawks. She started last game for them. I believe they ended up closing out with Lindsay Anderson.
A very short pitching staff here for Northeast.
Yeah.
So if Iowa Central is squaring up McCowen really well,
18, Cheyenne Anderson.
We'll have to see if we see any deterioration from the elements kind of starting to work in. They're definitely cold out there.
You just had your game break. We'll see if the eyes for Iowa Central are still there. It appears so, as
Tritons have Cheyenne Anderson up at the plate, and she gets her first strike up on the board. Anderson,
very
a lot of air under her shot. Hawks able to come up with that catch there to get their first out. So starting off with a different pace for the Hawks while they are out on the field.
Two pitches in a row, really low, not able to, really box it up as they did last game.
Parker Matthews up the plate for the Tritons currently. First pitch from McCowen with Matthews at the plate is going to be a strike. McCowen sends in the second pitch.
Another well-placed strike on the first pitch. It looked like the right fielder there had an opportunity to go get that, but she kind of laid back and
playing it a little safe.
Playing it safe, doesn't want to overrun it and end up giving away 3 bags, because on right field that's a long throw to get into the infield if it rolls all the way to the wall.
Bennett Chevin up at the plate for the Tritons as McCowen sends in the first pitch to her. Nearly caught. by the shortstop there.
Good hustle there from Rosario Garcia. She hustles out to get that ball, not allowing the Tritons to advance to third base, making that a first and third situation. As we went over last game, that's difficult for an infield to cover.
Sophia Cave up at the plate currently for the Tritons.
She had a couple home runs in the last game. The wind was really helping her, but they were line drive shots as well.
Yep.
She was making really good contact. We'll see if she can square up a couple more here. She's very aggressive out in front of the pitch, out on the outside part of the plate. Rolls it over right to the shortstop, and she made the smart play to go to third base instead of trying to get the double play as she was already going to her right.
Next up, number 14, Peyton Anderson.
Peyton Anderson up at the plate for the Tritons currently at a count of 1-0.
There's one out here in the first inning, first and second.
Bit of a higher pitch there from McCowan. Gives 2 balls, no strikes. Going to be pretty comfortable coming back into the box with
Being
the
up 2-0.
low strike count.
Not really getting those last 2 pitches, not close to the zone either,
Not
not
really.
making her really work at all. You know, you can see it right out of the hand that it's not going to be something you want to swing at. So now she's sitting back 3-0. She's looking for a fastball over the plate.
McCowan sends in a strike to give her a little less to work with. 3-1 count.
Nothing hurt, though. You're still up 3-1, 1 out. You got 2 runners on. You guys hit well against this pitcher last game.
Sends it out to
Luke
right
right
center.
in between the second baseman, center fielder, and the right fielder. Almost gets her caught off guard a little farther away from the bag. It's going to end up scoring a run there on a RBI single. First and third now.
Peyton Anderson playing that smart there. Knows she's not in a pickle, so she's able to lead a little bit.
Or maybe even just trying to play with the infield a little bit, make them think, and maybe allow your person on third to slide into home. A very a slow steal there, trying to kind of bribe the throw almost, try and get that run in from third a cheap way, but northeast doesn't fall for it, just throws it back to the pitch. A slap hit to second base, unable to beat the throw to first. That's going to be 3 outs, 1 run on the board, a couple hits thrown together, a fielder's choice. So, I mean, all in all, not a terrible inning, but they will probably end up putting on more runs here as the game goes on.
Top of the second inning. Beginning of last game, when we were at the top of the second, there was nothing on the board quite yet. So Tritons out a little bit earlier, but you would think with some of the momentum they had, they might have had maybe 1 or 2 more runs. But as we said, it is colder out. Had that break for sophomore day.
Yep, maybe needing to kind of work your way into this game. Maybe both teams will be a little more aggressive and get some things put together.
Still got Alex Boyce out on the mound. This will be the 12th game that she started. Her record was 5-3 for closing out games.
Lindsay Anderson.
Takes it where it was, hits it away. That's a tough backspin from a second baseman's perspective. If that catch is a little thicker than others, that's going to really be difficult to play with, but ends up making a good play, gets the easy out at first. One batter up, one batter down.
Next up, number 12, Chantal Julian.
Chantal Julian at the plate for the Hawks currently.
A little bit outside there on the first pitch of this at-bat. Very patient in the batter's box.
Boys stepping back up to the mound. Julian able to send that one over the shortstop there into left field.
Yeah, it wasn't a complete swing either. It looked like she kind of checked up towards the end, but still gets enough of the barrel on the bat to get it over the shortstop. Going to be a nice single. See if they can build on this. All it takes is a couple singles thrown together and get some momentum going, and then next thing you know, you can bat through your lineup.
Reagan Reichs up at bat for the Hawks. Pitch goes by the catcher, and Julian is able to make it to second base.
Just the little things like that, allowing a
Right.
runner to advance to second. That's just another a run that much closer to the plate, as you only have a one-run lead here. And you guys haven't been playing super well for the last 4 or 5 innings if you add in the last game as well. Back-to-back pitches, one hopping to the catcher. The release point just a bit off for the pitcher here. We'll see if she can adjust.
Going to give it a 2-0 count here. Boys sending in her third pitch.
Low and away again. This one not one hopping though. Getting closer. Trying not to give the hitter too good of a pitch here on a 3-0 count, but I mean first base is already open. Maybe picking at corners, trying to
3-1 count with a 1 out here at the top of the second inning. Triton's able to field that and get the out at first, but Hawks did advance a runner to third base. Chantal Julian holding that spot down for the Hawks.
That's a Uribe, number 27.
a well-hit ball here scores anything. Gets out of the infield, you have a score. Maybe 2 outs, you can get a rally going and maybe get the lead.
Boyce is able to get that first strike against Uribe. 0-1 count. Gets her to swing again. That's going to make it an 0-2 count with 2 outs here.
Fouled off, keeping herself alive here. Now, personally, I think that pitch caught a little bit too much of the strike zone. You're up 0-2 against a batter that was not really with it. They aren't making solid contact. They completely whiffed on a pitch way outside. I think you keep it away from a good hit just like that. You keep it up in the zone or way low. Just not give them a chance to get some barrel on the bat, and they swing and miss.
Boyce able to get that strikeout there for the third out. Going to send it into the bottom of the second inning. Triton's going to be up to bat.
We will be back at the bottom of the second inning.
We're back here at the bottom of the second inning. Triton's up to bat
Jenna
with
Peschel
the Tritons
up
up
to bat.
0-1. Peschel fouls that one back off the first pitch here at the bottom of the second.
Really aggressive swing as a pitcher. You notice that. It was a low pitch. Maybe you don't give her something right in the heart of the strike zone when you're swinging that hard. You catch enough of a ball, it's gone, especially with the wind being like it is today.
McCowan sends in a low pitch, going to make the count 1-1 here. No outs. McCowan sending in her third pitch. And that one's over the fence, gone.
That's what happens. Gave her too nice of a pitch right over the heart of the zone, and she just took advantage of it.
And that is a great way to start the bottom of the second inning. As we said, started off their first inning better than the first game, scoring that run. And now it looks like they've got a little bit of momentum to coast off of now with that home run.
Number 51, Alexis Morrison.
Alexis Morrison coming in. She did not play last game, but she is batting .261 with a .386 on base percentage. A couple doubles, 5 home runs, and 22 RBIs.
Makes contact with that first pitch, but goes foul to make the count 0-1 here. No outs. Triton's up 2-0.
Must have been a cut on the ball. Getting that one out of there.
McCowan's second pitch, a little outside, 1-1 count. That next pitch also outside, going to make it 2-1.
Not wanting to give them anything too clean right after that home run. Kind of tentative to sneak back into the strike zone. Rolls over right to the shortstop. Easy
Hawks
play
going to be
there.
able to get their first out here at the bottom of the second.
Next up for the Tritons, number
Rosario
3,
Garcia make the easy play there.
Peyton Adwell up to bat here for the Tritons. McCowan sending in the first pitch. Looked a little low and outside, going to be a ball.
Now, Adwell is catching in this game. One of the advantages to catching is you're knowing what the strike zone is. You're back there the entire game, so you understand what the umpires and maybe his nuances are. So maybe the umpire is calling a lot of low balls strikes. So you know he has an expanded strike zone. You know that if the pitch is there, you need to take a swing because he's going to call it a strike.
That's a good point. Cowan able to get the count up to 1-2. Got some room to work with now.
Same pitch, same location. Not something she was wanting to take a swing at. Obviously, it's 2 pitches in a row. She didn't want to take a swing at it. But
Anderson.
So McCowan able to get Peyton Adwell struck out there. I'm going to send Cheyenne Anderson to the plate for the Tritons. 2 outs here at the bottom of the second for the Tritons. First pitch by McCowan, a little outside.
Anderson came into this game with 20 home runs on the season, 55 RBIs.
And it looks like she's going to get rid of that one to make it 21. Back to the outside fence.
Yep, that hit the second fence here. That was some solid contact made. Got it up in the air. This wind is going to carry it, and it just kept going.
So even with 2 outs, she feels no pressure, rips the first one outside to give Tritons a 3-0 lead here at the bottom of the second inning.
3-0. Now you've had
Next up for the Tritons, number 8.
2 home runs, but both solo.
Matthews.
One thing you want to work on, you have the power there. You got to get everyone else on base.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It seemed last game we had a lot more people on base to work with when home runs.
Yeah, we were having 2, 3-run home runs. You want to give those opportunities as much as possible. You want to get some people on the base pad. So when you do make solid contact like that with this wind, you want it to mean more than just a 1-run.
McCowan sends in her first couple of pitches as balls to have the count 2-0.
Another solid contact. Right in that third base shortstop gap.
So Parker Matthews able to get on with that single.
Next up, number 23, Bree Jevin.
Hi. Coach Stanquist wanted me to tell you that Giants' home run just now was the single season record of 21 home runs in a season.
Single season record.
Just been made aware that the last home run there from Cheyenne Anderson, the 21st on the year, that is a school record with 21 home runs. A laser back up the middle.
Bree Shevin nearly catches the pitcher with that shot, able to advance Parker Matthews to third base and get herself on.
16, Sophia Cave.
Now, Cave, as we said, had a couple home runs, and we were just talking about how so far our 2 home runs that we've seen this game were solo home runs. So I'm sure Cave is hoping to be able to rip this one out and score them a couple RBIs and herself to be able to boost up the score as that first pitch from McCowan comes in as a ball.
That was as close as you can possibly get to it being a foul ball, but it was a fair ball. Goes over the top of third base, right over that line. A 2-run double right down the third base line. Cave seeing the ball really well today. She was ahead of her on her first at-bat, kind of rolled one over, but she made the adjustment and got a lot more solid contact on that swing, able to get a 2-run double.
Peyton Anderson up to bat for the Tritons. Rips it into center field.
A very tough
Hits the
play for your
fence.
center fielder. Able to slide into second base underneath the tag. Now, if there's anything to take away from that play, is 2 outs.
Right.
Person on second. Your instincts are to say, "Oh, there's a fly ball I need to tag up." But with 2 outs, you're running on contact.
That's
if she
a good
would have went
point.
right off of contact, they would have had a score there. It would be 6-0 now, but it's only 5-0. 2 outs. If this is out, then you lose that run.
A good stop there by McCowan. Extremely quick instincts to be able to grab that and get them the third out there to send it to the top of the third inning.
Cheyenne Anderson's homer in this past inning was her 21st of the season and a new Iowa Central single-season record.
We're back here at Harlan Rogers,
5, Abby Pierce.
where the Tritons sent in 4 runs at the bottom of the second inning to be able to boost their lead up to 5-0 over the Northeast Community College Hawks. We had a substitution at pitcher. Brianna Small out there for the Tritons now on the mound as she sends in that first pitch to give a 1-0 count. Second's going to go ahead and make it a 1-1 count for Small at the mound. Had 10 games started, 9-1 record for the year. And she had pitched 69 innings. As that hit gets sent out by Abby Pierce of the Hawks, gets her out at first base.
Madison McCowan.
Pitcher Madison McCowan going to be coming out to bat for the Northeast Hawks. Small sends in the first pitch as a strike to give a 0-1 count with 1 out here at the top of the third inning. (0-2) count here as McCowan steps back into the box. Outside pitch, able to get McCowan to swing on it. 2 outs here at the top of the third inning
5, Rosario Garcia.
as Garcia comes up to bat for the Hawks. Able to catch McCowan swinging on those pitches. Even with that far outside pitch, she knew she had room to play with. A very good job on Small's part there. As the Tritons come up with the catch to get 3 up, 3 down there at the top of the third inning to send it into the bottom of the third, as we will be back here on Triton Nation at the bottom of the third. We are back here at the bottom of the third inning. Triton's able to get 3 up, 3 down with new pitcher Brianna Small taking the mound.
Getting that change up. They did that last game, and some things started going their way.
Right. Lindsay
Trying to-
Anderson out on the mound now for the Hawks instead of Madison McCowan.
Now, Peschel caught caught a lot, or caught her first at bat. Ended up hitting a home run.
Right.
Caught that one clean. She's seen the ball well. This change of pitcher doesn't seem to affect her too much. You see she gets really good contact. Those ones right there, those hard liners that go into foul territory down the third base line, those feel almost as good as a home run
Right.
coming off the bat because you really get into it. You make solid contact, but you're just so far ahead of it that there's just goes foul.
Paschal at the plate for a 2-1 with a 2-1 count as the next pitch comes in. Inside, going to make it a 3-1 count, so she's got time to be patient, hit what she wants.
Yep. Sits
Gets a hold
back.
of that one. A good catch by the shortstop there.
Next up, number 51,
The speed was just not
Alexis
there for her.
Morrison.
She's a little ahead of everything. A lot of these girls are so far today. A lot of the girls that are making solid contact, I think they're just used to seeing more speed. They're having to be a little more patient, sit back and wait, and not getting solid contact like that. Goes off the tip of the bat straight to the shortstop. Easy play.
Morrison at the plate, 1-0 count with one out here at the bottom of the third inning. As Anderson gets ready to send in the next pitch. Morrison gets on thanks to an error there by the first baseman.
Next up,
Fielded it solid. Nice solid throw over there. Just hole in the glove somewhere.
Peyton Adwell at the base here. The plate for the Tritons. Sorry, I couldn't speak too well there. Anderson sends in the first pitch for a nice strike there.
That's the same pitch she saw twice in her first at bat. She didn't swing it at it either. After a while, you just got to learn from it, and even if it's not a pitch you necessarily want, you just got to take it where it is.
Lindsay Anderson sends in a little bit lower of a pitch there to make the count 1-1 with one out. Anderson's third pitch gets popped up there.
Good play there from the shortstop, as we said earlier. The wind seems to be dying down a little bit. Hopefully, Mother Nature doesn't hear me say that and it picks right back up. But she sits back. She knows the wind's going to push it a little bit towards her, so she lets it push towards her, and it's there for the play.
Hawks shortstop Garcia has made a couple plays there, catching the pop fly and kind of catching that little spinning catch she had to make there for the first out.
Yep, hits that go off the end of the bat. You know, the bat speed doesn't match the ball speed coming off because you see a big rip. They're just taking a huge swing. You're like, okay, this is going to be coming, and then it's kind of just a curveball almost.
Yeah.
And it floats kind of knuckles sometimes as well. And she made a really good play earlier in the game.
1-1 count for Anderson as she is at the plate.
Third pitch outside. She's patient. Doesn't swing at something that she doesn't think she can really square up. She's got 2 outs. A runner on first.
Cheyenne Anderson at the plate with a 2-1 count.
Gets jammed a little bit there. Doesn't quite get her hands through all the way.
That's going to foul back on top of Iowa Central's dugout. Lindsay Anderson out on the mound, not having too bad of a first inning for pitching, with sitting at 2 outs, just one person on first base with a 2-2 count.
She's been able to keep them guessing, not getting solid contact.
Low inside pitch there. Going to make it a full count, 3-2 here with 2 outs. Of course, if you're Lindsay Anderson on the mound, you're hoping for that strike to get the third out here and take it into the 4th inning. But it looks like Cheyenne Anderson had other plans, and that one That one's out. She's got 22 on the season now. She says, I know I've got the single season record. Nothing to worry about. I'll just extend it a little bit.
Add it a little bit.
Yeah.
Making sure someone's got to work.
She's like, I'm out of here. So I gotta try and make it as hard to reach my record as possible.
That one, I think if the elements aren't what they are today, I don't know if that one gets
It
out.
did.
That one just
It was a little short of a home run, kind of plopped down.
Just more of a lazy fly ball instead of like her other one. That was a line drive.
Came all the way out to the
Almost-
second
yeah.
fence.
So, I mean, either way, I think they're going to take it. They're not
That
going
is
to be
true.
upset about it. But you're going to have to thank the elements for that one today.
Parker Matthews up at the plate, low inside pitch there. Lindsay Anderson probably a little shook up out on the mound now. She probably thought she had that one. Especially with a full count, you got to be careful. You don't want to take that walk, and I think she was just a little too careful as the next pitch there from Lindsay Anderson comes down inside and low.
A little flustered.
Yeah, as we said,
Trying to
with
recover.
that 3-2 count, and then giving away the home run. It's going to be hard to recover
Still
right
searching.
after that. 3-0 count. If you're Parker Matthews at the plate, you're pretty relaxed. You've got time to be patient and wait for your pitch. She's going to get walked. Their first walk, I believe, we've seen in either of the games.
Yep. Both teams have been very aggressive. Pitchers have been putting it in, the strike zone, giving them a chance to swing. They're not picking corners here.
Bree Chevin comes up to the plate there, rips one to the third baseman. Had a bounce or two in there, so third baseman was able to feed that one. We're going to be back here at the top of the fourth right here on Triton Nation. Back here at the top of the fourth, out at Harlan Rogers.
And the sun's starting to creep out a little.
It is.
It's saying, hey, maybe I'll make it a little bit nicer, a little easier to play today. Make it a little more enjoyable and stuff, unbearable. We got a lot of people here in blankets and heavy coats. Into April, I don't think people were.
I should have brought my heavy coat. I'm a little chilly up here, even though we're pretty well out of the elements.
We cannot complain. It is.
That is true.
Nice in here.
Yeah. I'm just shaking from being chilly. Couple of balls there from Brianna Small as she sends in her first couple of pitches at the top of the fourth.
Now, Brianna Small, she has the most appearances here for the Tritons overall. A really good record with a 9-1 record with the 10 starts
That she's had.
games. Yeah, she's closed out. She's had 2 complete games, 1 save. So she's overall kind of a good utility pitcher, someone that can start games for you, but also someone that is okay not starting all their games.
Yeah.
Be able to come in situations like this. Solid contact.
Center fielder a little too far up there, but they are able to hold Jacqueline Denning to just a single there with the deep center field shot.
Now that's the difference between baseball and softball there. If there's a solid hit in baseball that hits at the bottom of the fence, they're going to have an easy chance for a double, maybe even a triple. But in softball, with how small the field is overall, they're able to get the ball in before they before the runners even rounded first base.
That's a good point.
Aggressive throw down to first. Good dig on first base there from Alexis Morrison. Saves her catcher a little bit.
Yeah.
It was aggressive throw, but it was a one hop, so easily could have just rolled into the outfield and given up a easy free base. But able to make the dig, a rip down the third
And
base
Maggie
line.
Behrman takes that one down the foul line right there. Able to advance. Jacqueline Denning to third base, gets herself to second there.
For the Hawks, number 8, Lindsay
We'll see. This is kind of how the last game went.
That
too.
is true,
They
yeah.
started getting some things together after a pitching change. We'll see if the Tritons defense can help out their pitcher and see if their pitcher can help out the defense, vice versa.
Brianna Small pitching to Hawks pitcher Lindsay Anderson. As Small sends in the first
That
pitch.
ball's in play. Unable to make that play. A lot of
seemed like a miscommunication there.
There was also a lot of tail on that ball. They were a solid
true.
5 feet away from where it landed. Even if one of them would have called it, I think they just misread it off the bat so bad that they might not have been able to make the play.
Yeah, we talked about how the wind is kind of playing a part.
Absolutely.
Definitely saw it on that play.
And even if there is a smaller amount of wind, those balls, when it's in between, your dugouts and your foul lines, those are tough to read in general because they just have a weird sway to them back and forth, and just something you have to, and it's hard to practice it as well because
Right.
how are you going to hit foul ball? How are you going to hit a ball like that up in the air purposely?
That's a good point. Small knowing she had some room to work with there, throwing a ball to make the count 1-2 here at the top of the fourth.
No outs.
Nope.
Ducks on the pond. You got second and third occupied. 2 really solid hits back to back as well. Drop third strike. She's going to get it over to first base. First strikeout for Small here. First out here in the top of the fourth. Some good momentum for the Tritons.
A good job on Adwell's part right there, knowing she had some time to get that throw there.
Being patient.
Yep.
Clearing herself out of the runner's way. Not trying to throw it over the runner. Just some basic, drop third strike technique, and just performs really well.
Small sends in a ball there for the first pitch against number 12, Chantel Julian of the Hawks.
Kind of steering away from giving her anything clean to hit.
Yeah, higher pitch there.
Julian was the one base runner that was left on base last inning. She's got some speed to her.
Inside strike there from Small to make the count 2-1 with 1 out.
If you're not on top of that pitch out of the hand, it's hard to get in front of it. A fastball inside, you got to have your hands through, or else you're just going to dud it straight in front of you.
Looked like another bit of an inside pitch fouled back there to make the count 2-2.
Another good play there by Adwell on another drop third strike. She's changing levels and speeds a lot.
Knew she had. She tried to get that tag out. Realized she couldn't get it. Made the split second decision to get it over to first base. A good decision on her part. Small getting set up to send in the first pitch. Seems like she sent in a few of those outside pitches, whether it just slips a little or maybe that's just
Kind of her game plan.
Yep. Kind of get them off their feet a little bit.
Right when a lot of aggressive batters, especially, they walk into the foul ball there right down the third base line. Good effort.
Tough call there, as it seemed like it kind of went pretty close to that line, but a very good line of vision down there.
A lot of
I
bodies
trust.
down there, too. You have a
Yeah.
runner on third, your third baseman diving for the ball. Tough call. But the right call there.
Reagan Reichs at the plate with an 0-2 count, 2 outs. Small keeping her on her toes as
Not
Reichs
able to-
sends one back.
Not quite able to barrel that one up, but stays alive, slaps the bat through the strike zone, gets herself another opportunity as she has second and third, 2 outs, and a 1-2 count. Difficult situation.
Right. Small, taking some time to analyze.
Yep. Trying to, as a batter, you want to get into a rhythm. You're used to seeing a pitch every so often. You see a
Right.
pitch maybe 20 seconds.
A good pitch and catch with the layout there from Bree Small to take them into the bottom of the 4th inning. Triton's got a 7-0 lead. We will be back here on Triton Nation. We're back here on Triton Nation. Bottom of the 4th inning. 7-0 lead for the Tritons. As we've got our first batter of the bottom of the 4th for the Tritons, Sophia Cave.
Now she's been ahead of a lot of these pitches. See if she can stay patient, maybe take a step forward in the box, shorten that distance, and get a barrel on one and get it in the left center gap, maybe get a home run here.
A good eye on Cave's part there to have the count 1-0.
Did you swim in college? Yes.
1-1 count as Lindsay Anderson is able to fire that one into the strike zone.
Really well placed, right down the middle, but very low. Tough to do anything with it. As you can see, the right fielder was playing almost right next to the center fielder. As they were playing for Cave, a solid pull hitter. One of the giveaways for a lot of pull headers is they stand with that open stance. So you can see her left foot is farther back than her right. It helps you see the ball better, but most times it turns into making you strictly a pull hitter because of just how naturally your body is.
Jacqueline Denning able to make that catch for the Hawks there. Lindsay Anderson fires in a little bit of an inside pitch to make the count 1-0 here as Peyton Anderson starts off at the plate.
Very well placed pitch right there, right on the outside corner.
Going to make it a 1-1 count with a 1 out for the Tritons. as Peyton Anderson steps back into the box. Outside pitch there.
Very close to the same spot, just a
Yeah.
little far outside. Not a bad place pitch, though.
No.
You know, that's a good place to miss. If
Mhm.
you want to miss your spot, you don't want to miss the other way when
That
you're
is
trying to
true.
hit outside. Just put one right over the heart of the plate. Good. She lowered the barrel of the bat there. That was not a bad pitch. It wasn't
Mhm.
like it caught a lot of plate. She adjusted well there and squirts one right past the shortstop.
Peyton Anderson able to ground that one between shortstop and second base to get herself onto first base,
Bingham.
which brings Gabby Bingham up to bat as Lindsay Anderson sends in the first pitch. A good catch, nearly a double play, but Peyton Anderson able to turn herself around, get back to first base.
The Tritons. Number 9.
Now, if she was not a slap hitter there, your first baseman wouldn't be coming in.
That's true.
You know, maybe. So the first baseman's there, then you don't have to wait for your second baseman to cover. That may be a double play. Just another reason why a slap hitter in your lineup just makes it so much more difficult for the defender. Tough play there in left field, unable to get it.
Popped up hit there by Peschel, able to bring in Peyton Anderson as the Hawks were not able to make that catch. But as we said, those popped up hits a little harder to field today with the conditions and just with them being plain pop-ups.
Yep, and after you see so many people drop pop-ups, you start overthinking. You're like, oh, man,
That
what
is
do I
true.
do here? What do
Next up,
Getting in your own head.
Yep.
Alexis
And that's what
Morrison.
softball is. Softball is a huge mind game. You know,
Mhm.
it's a lot of there's chess moves. You're thinking 2 moves ahead, and it comes down to your fundamentals. And you start overthinking, and everything just falls off the wheels.
That's true.
Now you can see this also has a bit of a shift. The right fielder playing in right center, and pretty deep. Not thinking these Iowa Central hitters are going to hit anything down the line of right, even while they're pitching outside. They're playing for the pole here.
Lindsay Anderson's first couple of pitches here to Morrison counted as balls, giving it a 2-0 count with 2 outs here at the bottom of the 4th inning.
See a pitch right there, low and away. Doesn't quite get full contact. Rolls a really soft one over to the left side of the infield, makes the play, gets the out.
We're going to head into the top of the 5th inning here. We'll be right back here on Triton Nation. We're back here on Triton Nation at the top of the 5th inning. Triton's up 8-0 here. As Ines Uribe up to bat for the Hawks.
Now, at last inning, they had runners on second and third.
They're getting
No
themselves
outs.
in good positions.
They went 3 batters in a row. They weren't able to advance the runners. We'll see if they can get runners back on base and see if they can actually do something this time.
Yeah.
It's frustrating, especially when you're down 8-0. You know you can put runs together. You did the game prior. You just got to stack some singles on top of each other, maybe get a couple big maybe get a gapper, and then you're just off to the races.
Yeah. 2-1 count here, 0 outs for the Hawks with Uribe up to bat.
Really nice pitch,
Yep.
down and away. Now you can see Iowa Central, their outfield is playing much more shallow than Northeast.
Haven't had many deep shots. I think we've seen one deep in center field hit the bottom of the fence. A good job fielding there by the Tritons, able to get that first out at first base.
For the Hawks, number 25, Abby Pierce.
As we've got Abby Pierce coming up to bat for the Hawks. Bree Small doing a great job on the mound. Hasn't had anybody
The first
score against
inning,
her.
There was they barreled up a few balls, got to second and third, but after that she settled in, didn't give up any big hits, able to get out with no runs, and so far obviously just the one at bat this inning, and
Yep.
got that one done too.
0-1 count, one out here.
That's
A
tough
nice
ball.
catch there by Iowa Central shortstop Sophia Cave.
That's a tough play.
Had to stretch out a little bit,
Madison McCowan.
but a very good catch. We've got Hawks pitcher Madison McCowan up to bat. As we talked about, Hawks only have a couple pitchers, both freshmen. It's got to be hard to stretch that out. Seen inside pitch there from Small for the first ball.
That's some great experience though. As
That is true.
You move forward, as a freshman playing on a team, they're 3-38 now. They haven't won an away game. That's tough. If you can move past that though, this next year, the year after that, if your team can get through a couple seasons like that, they're really set to be successful because
They are a very young team. Looking at the roster, seen only a couple of sophomores. So you get that experience. It's tough, but it almost makes you tougher for the next year because you want to do better. As the Tritons get the 3 up, 3 down there at the top of the 5th inning. We will be right back here on Triton Nation for the bottom of the 5th. That's going to do it for our second game here of the Northeast Community College Hawks versus the Iowa Central Community College Tritons.
Coming out to Harlan Rogers.
Both games extremely great for the Tritons today. So many history made. Cheyenne Anderson with the 22 home runs.
single season.
You've
She also
gotta feel
holds the,
great.
Career home run record here on
Right.
Iowa Central as well.
You've got to feel great, it being sophomore day,
Sophomore day.
and you go ahead and just make history and extend it out even a little bit. 22 home runs in this season.
Absolutely. So we thank you for coming into the stream today. I've been
Yep.
Michael Coates.
I have been Dan Johnson, and enjoy the rest of your day.